I waited long, longer than anyone could imagine. My story begins in a small American town where life was simple, yet full of hidden emotions. I grew up believing in fairy tales where love always finds its way back no matter how hard life tries to break it apart. But real life is never that simple. Have you ever waited for someone so long that waiting itself became your only identity? Think about it for a moment. Who would you wait for in your own life? His name was James, and he was the kind of boy who made the whole world light up the second he laughed. We met in high school in Ohio where everything smelled of football games, Friday night pizza, and dreams too big for small-town kids. He was funny, protective, and had this way of making me feel like I was the only girl in the entire world who mattered. Isn't it rare to find someone who makes you feel safe when you don't even feel safe with yourself? Maybe you've met someone like that too, haven't you? James and I promised each other we would always be there, no matter where life took us. But life has its own cruel plans. After high school, he stayed back to help his dad with the small garage business, while I went to New York chasing my dream of becoming a writer. We said we'd call every day. We said we'd visit every month. We said nothing could break us. But distance is tricky, isn't it? Have you ever lost someone not because they stopped loving you, but because time and distance slowly pulled you apart? At first it was perfect. Calls every night. Text messages that made me laugh until I fell asleep. Promises of soon we'll be together again. That kept my heart alive. But slowly our calls became shorter. Our texts less frequent. And then one day, silence. Have you ever stared at your phone waiting for a notification that never came? That's when waiting becomes the most painful thing in the world. Years passed and I stayed in New York building my career, writing stories, chasing deadlines, but keeping his picture inside my notebook, telling myself I'll see him again one day. People around me moved on. My friends got married, had kids, built lives. And me? I waited. Do you know what it feels like to stand still while the whole world is moving forward without you? It's like watching a train leave the station while you're stuck on the platform. One summer evening, I saw a familiar name in the local paper from back home. An article about James's garage being voted the best small-town service in Ohio. My heart raced like it hadn't in years. He made it. He was still there, building his life, just like he always dreamed. And yet, I wasn't there to see it happen. Isn't it heartbreaking when the person who once held your whole heart continues shining, but without you by their side? I ordered a copy of the Hometown magazine, just to see his picture. And when I held it in my hands, I cried like a little girl. Because even after all these years, just seeing his face brought me back to life. Tell me honestly, wouldn't you hold on to a single glimpse of someone if that's all you had left? That night I couldn't sleep. My mind was spinning with memories. I remembered the way he used to sit by the lake, skipping stones and laughing every time I teased him about his messy hair. I remembered the way he'd hand me his jacket on cold nights and pretend he wasn't freezing himself. I remembered the way he said, "No matter what happens, wait for me." And I did. I waited long, longer than I thought humanly possible. Do you think promises really mean something, or are they just words we say in the moment? 10 years had passed since I left, and life had changed for both of us. Or so I thought. One rainy evening, while visiting home after so many years, I stopped at a small gas station and asked where James's garage was. The man pointed down the road, and as I drove closer, my heart pounded like never before. I parked, stepped out into the rain, and there he was. James. Older, wiser, but still with the same smile that had once made the whole world brighter. My knees almost gave up beneath me. Do you believe in moments when time stands still? This was one of them. He walked toward me, water dripping from his hair, and simply said, "I told you to wait." I laughed, cried, and hugged him all at once. We both stood there in the rain, unable to let go. He explained that life in Ohio was steady, quiet, and sometimes lonely. He said he thought of me every day, but he was too afraid that maybe I had moved on. Isn't it crazy how two people can be thinking of each other every single day, but still believe they are forgotten? We sat inside the garage drinking coffee from old mugs, talking about everything we had missed. Every birthday, every holiday, every memory we couldn't share. It all came rushing back. And then he whispered, "I'm here now, if you're still willing to wait for me." And I laughed with tears in my eyes and said, "James, I already did." Tell me, wouldn't you say yes too, if the one person you loved the most finally came back after all those years? Our story didn't become a movie-like fairy tale with instant happily ever after. No. We had to rebuild trust, heal old wounds, and learn how to be in each other's lives again. But you know what? Every single moment was worth it. Because I had waited long. And my waiting proved that sometimes love is not about rushing. It's about believing. So my dear listener, if you're still waiting for someone or something in your life, ask yourself, is it worth the wait? Because if it truly is, don't give up just yet.